Okay, so greetings, dear Libra. This is Tarot Lumination with your June 2018 mini love and relationship report. Okay, it's for lots of people, so if it doesn't work for you, reinterpret it a little bit. Also, clearly watch for your sun, moon, and rising. That's the convention. It works really well. Also, if you really want to get an edge on things, you can cross-watch for your significant other. Now, I know some people write in, can singles watch this too? Well, I feel that you can, as long as you understand and accept for the laws of attraction, in that think of yourself as a cell phone on speech mode, and you're constantly transmitting and receiving signals anyway, okay? And including this energy of love and relationship. So you are transmitting signals out there, and the universe is kind of like a mirror, and things get reflected, bounced back to you. So you could think of this as like, well, what if? Like, what's out there for you if? Like, what could show up right now? Like, you know, what's out there in the great beyond. Otherwise, it's mostly for chosen relationships, people who've deliberately chosen each other in a relationship. We're going to use the crucible spread, which is taking it to the next level, where it's understood in a deeply loving chosen relationship, both parties understand that there is a third entity called the relationship itself, in which both parties lovingly invest and conduct their business of being together. Okay? You'll see in a moment. Before we get into it, I just want to, hold on, I'm still shuffling. Give me a moment. I'd like to go to the last second, even though they're well shuffled in advance before we record anything, but I like to feel comfortable. Hold on. Okay, we'll get back to this. Just a few notes. I've been doing this for all the signs this month because there's a couple of significant events going on, but for you, Libra, in some ways you kind of get a free pass because there's nothing directly head on. You know, there's going to be periods with moon and Libra or whenever, and there's challenging moments with the Cancer Capricorn polarities going on, but they're kind of deep and kind of profound, and it's hard to, without knowing you personally, it's hard to actually give any concrete help for you, except it might be challenging in that department. So here's the dates that I've marked, that I've cherry picked for my own, let's say, awareness. Right at the beginning, May 30th, June 1st and 2nd, big fat water trines, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, and simultaneously coming into a big fat water trine with the sextiles on Capricorn and Cancer, forming a big kite. Very, very positive, supporting, loving energy for the whole planet. You might as well take advantage of it too, Libra, okay? And get some awareness, especially from this Cancer Capricorn opposition in the middle of it all. Next, going through the month, June 6th, we're starting to pile up some hard squares, the Gemini Pisces thing. June 10th, big T squares happening. Mars in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus, and then there's the Leo North Node and some lunar aspects too. And we've still got the Capricorn Cancer thing going on as well because of Venus in Capricorn and Saturn and Pluto. Sorry, Venus in Cancer and Saturn and Pluto up here in Capricorn. So this is potentially quite frictional. So it's continuing here, and more layers of T-squares. I'll put this up closer. Chiron is entering Aries, by the way, but it still is almost 0 degrees, so you might not understand what's happening here yet, but it's to do with deep healing. Okay, so maybe this, over the next few years, this will become more understandable. June the 15th, more squares. June 21st, squares full on, hard on with Aquarius, Leo, and Scorpio in the middle. Again, no direct hits for you. The Capricorn Cancer Libra T-square is very hard around June 21st, so you might feel some tension and pressures around there. 23rd, ongoing. There's a big fat grand square plus the T-square. So that's going to affect everybody. You can take it personally if you want. Towards the end of the month, everything's going to shift anyway as we go into July and the Cancer season opens up. So in a way, you get to kind of wiggle through without any serious direct hits. So we'll just put the astrology aside for now. I hope those notes made sense in some way. If not, just forget about it for now, and we'll just, focus more on the tarot, okay? Cards are well shuffled in advance. No jumpers, no flyers, no oracles, no reversals. No apologies about that. I love the cards the way they were originally painted, and that's good enough for tarot illumination. So, do the routine. Watch your sun, moon, and rising, if it's all different especially, and reinterpret everything to suit you. And cross-watch your significant other. Cards are well shuffled now. I want to go to the last second. Please invite your, I call it team, your angels. Tarot Illumination angels are here. We're going to bless the cards, bless the reading, bless you, bless your journey through June. Okay, here we go. You'll see how it unfolds in a moment. All right. All right, this would be you, dear Libra, radiating like a cell phone, love and relationship. Over here would be a significant other. They too are radiating, but this is your reading all about you. We're just including them for perspective. Over here, deep in the soul and heart of you, deep in the heart of soul of the other. Over here at the core itself, the relationship, the third entity, you, the other, the relationship. This is the crucible. This is a crucible spread. It's specific for tarot illumination, specific to deal with relationships on this understanding. Okay, so over here we're going to have momentum and prospects, because it is like a chemical reaction. It keeps going and going. Things happen as we intimate and separate. We're always in the process of intimating, separating, intimating and separating. And without an awareness of the structure of a relationship, the foundation, the entity of a relationship itself, you can be very vulnerable to the highs and the lows, always feeling that you have to chase the romantic highs in order to avoid the romantic lows, where in fact, the intimacy and separation is a very natural occurring phenomenon anyway. There's no point trying to fight it. The whole point is to flow with it and allow the crucible to carry you through the hard times, allow the crucible to support you in the good times. Over here, we're going to look at the weather, circumstantial energy, just for now, and see what's going on there. Think of it as the planets or your neighborhood or your the things that constitute your world outside of you. Let's have a look. Okay, well, the Ace of Pentacles here, this wouldn't be here unless you deserved it and you'd earned it or built it up in some kind of like karmic treasure chest, something like that. So it looks, from my perspective, this is literally like a golden opportunity for you. This is sacred opportunity. And the thing is about the energy of opportunity, it's there. You've earned it. Question is, are you going to accept it, allow it, incorporate it, bring this into your life, into your world, and be very, very grateful for having this? Or are you even aware of it? A lot of people are not aware of the energy or the phenomenon of opportunity, and it just floats by like, whew, what was that, man? Okay, so over here with the Ace of Pentacles, it looks like there's an indication, and I think this is probably to do with a lot of us right now because of the ingress of Uranus into Taurus. Big shifts, big changes are happening for all of us at some point in our lives. So for you, dear Libra, wherever that point of 0° Taurus lies in your chart for you, there will be very significant radical shifts, changes, and upheavals over the next 7 years as that part of your life and world asks for awakening. So this is very encouraging, very good news, but it does imply heading into new places where you've never been before. And that's one of the challenges about opportunity, because it really puts you on the spot. Do you have the courage, the ability, the wisdom to understand the opportunity and take the steps to take advantage of it and just go with it? And even knowing that you have no clue where it's going to take you, because the aces are very, very, let's say, nascent. They're like seeds, very powerful, rich seeds that are planted, but they need your love and attention for that to blossom, okay? So let's have a look. Okay, well, with the healing card here, Temperance here, it looks to me like for you, Libra, There is some kind of reckoning and balancing that's going on in your love and relationship dynamics, and it's a chance to bring things into harmony. Maybe things are looking good for you. Maybe you feel that things are good for you. Maybe you're feeling the love, absorbing the love, radiating the love in such a way that you are like the embodiment of harmony and balance, almost like being a work of art yourself, someone who's very gifted in the art of relationship, where you know how to accommodate the other, you know how to keep your own integrity intact, and bring everything into a harmonious balance in the center zone. So that's kind of good. It also indicates here that you might need healing yourself in some way or another, that it might be in a very, very subtle way that would come almost like as a free gift, as a side effect of you radiating the energy of a healing aura to begin. In other words, you get healing in return for offering healing. That's what I'm trying to indicate here in the context of a loving relationship. And having the opportunity for this to happen, for new wealth, new abundance, in terms of evidence of love. Like on Tarot Illumination, I talk a lot about love is as love does, on the understanding that love, from my understanding here, is that love is the deliberate, conscious decision to extend ourselves above and beyond our natural current status quo, our comfort zone, deliberately, in order to foster and nurture the spiritual health and growth and well-being of ourselves, first and foremost, and then with the immediate side of effect of that affecting our significant others. That's one of the most important things you can do in this life, is to love thyself. Love thyself first, and then that energy can permeate and percolate through the others, especially a significant other. So you might be in a place right now here in June for you, Libra, where you have a chance to extend the energy of love and healing to a significant loved one over here. And it's your opportunity to do that in ways that are evident, like the evidence of love, literally like bringing love in ways that are actually tangible and valuable and that have value to a significant other. It brings healing to them, and it's very healing for you. Let's have a look over here at themselves. Okay, well, with a significant other, they might be on a completely different wavelength to you, where what constitutes love for them might be lost, to the point of grief. However that works out, however that translates into you, it doesn't matter what you do or how you do it. There is something tragic that is going on or that has happened here with a significant other, where whether it shows or not, it's a whole other thing. But this is the energy of grief and grieving and sorrow over love lost. And it's very important to understand it, that if, for you, Libra, if you're relating very closely with someone who's very broken, very hurting inside regarding the energy of love, most especially if it relates to this particular relationship. For all we know, they could be consumed with grief and sorrow, grieving over the loss of something or someone that's nothing to do with you or the relationship itself. Just in their own essence, they might be suffering tremendous grief right now at the heart and soul level. Might be very difficult for you, Libra, to relate to them when they're in this condition. Maybe the most loving thing for you to do, Libra, is to be aware that they are going through some profound, profound period of grief in their life, whatever that might be. The loss of love, the loss of a significant love, perhaps the loss of a love for you, the loss of a loved one, the loss of, maybe they felt that they've been lost to you, however that works out. But it's definitely to do with loss, deep sorrow, the deep pain, the deep suffering that comes with loss. And it's important that the grieving is respected. It's revered, honored, and allowed to happen. It's very important that if they are grieving, that they need to grieve. They need the room to grieve and to recalibrate, because there is love awaiting them here, but it's very hard for them to get back into the vibe simple, pure, true love without having fully processed the grief. So that needs to be understood. There is a pathway. There is a pathway to new worlds, new lives ahead for them, new structures, however that works for them in love and relationship. But at this very moment, this looks kind of tragic for a significant other. So the energy of, remember, this is a reading about you for you, Libra, and we're including them in this. So this is primarily your circumstantial energy. I'm not saying it's theirs. I mean, this affects them, but this is primarily circumstantial for you. So you might be in a really, really good spot right now, Libra. Your ability to be the best and most loving for a significant other, but it might be with a significant other who is in deep pain right now. Let's have a look. What's going on deep inside of you? Okay. It's clear that you obviously want the best. You obviously have, it's almost like an innate sense of goodwill and best wishes for, not just for your loved one, but also for yourself. You want what's best. It looks like, it's like there's something very profound, very beautiful here that's going on with you, Libra. And maybe you don't know what it is, but you know that you have to be there for them when it comes to the energy of love and healing. Whatever this constitutes, you might not have any awareness what this might be, but you know it and you feel it and it's there, and all you want is what's best for you, what's best for them, and what's best for the relationship. This is very good, wholesome, loving energy in terms of the desire for things to be good, even though you don't know what that is. It doesn't, in other words, what constitutes success, love, relationship, happiness in this moment right now? Well, we don't know. There's no indication here, but it looks like with the circumstantial energy, you have a chance to find out sometime down the road in the future as things unfold here. But if we take this as a snapshot for June, it looks like you're doing a really, really good job of being there on hand with all the best of intentions, the most nurture and love and harmony and balance that can be brought into a loving relationship in a way that's best for you and them and the relationship itself. So I think this is very wholesome, and it's innocent and it's pure and it's untainted by expectations or demands or whatever. It's kind of very blessed energy. That's how I'm looking at it here. Let's have a look deep inside the other. Okay. Well, my feeling here with the Chariot is that there's something profoundly tragic going on with your significant other over here. And at their core level, what they really want to do is get their own life together in such a way that works for them, where it's not contingent upon you or the relationship itself. It's much more about them wanting to take full ownership and understanding of everything that's not working, and then not taking it personally, and then integrating that does work and not owning that as though they're like, you know, the masters of destiny and everything works out all the time. It's not like they're trying to chase all the highs and lows of highs of a relationship and pretend that the tragedies don't happen. It's like they are doing everything they can to get a grip on the reality of what's happening in their own world. And of course that affects you. All right. So without doing private readings or whatever, we have no idea what this tragedy might be over here. Whether it's personal or with you guys, or whether it's simply something of their own. But either way, it looks like deep down they really need, they're feeling a tremendous like surge to kind of recalibrate their life. Eventually they know they're going to have to mature out of the grief and get on with their life journey and get back into the love vibration. But it looks like it's going to require a tremendous amount of almost like willpower, and they know that, but they're determined to make it go in the right direction that works. But the question is whether that direction includes you or the relationship itself, or whether they're off literally just trying to create and own their own life and be true to themselves. Okay, so let's have a look at the core here. Okay, well, with the King of Wands, my feeling here is that both of you, in the context of this love relationship dynamic, both of you are deeply aware of the goodness of who you are and what you have, each of you as individuals. I see like there's a tremendous degree of respect and appreciation for you to them and from them to you. And it's really at the foundations of the relationship here. And it really, really shows. It's evident to you, it's evident to them, it's evident to the world around you. It's like you guys are doing something right, even though there's something really tragically out of whack here for your significant other. Okay, Libra, whatever that might be. So it's almost like you, Libra, are doing like a very just, honorable, loving, and respectful posture of like being very loving and present for your significant other and allowing them to go through their processes, perhaps giving them the room that they need to grieve and grow, and giving them like permissions and encouragements to grab a new life, grab a new opportunity, and take the charge and live the life that they want to live. And that requires being extremely selfless, extreme selflessness, and also being very, very gracious and considerate and inspiring, like deeply, like deeply wishing what is best for them. Like it's like very, very important for you that whatever it is that's not working for them gets healed and resolved, and so that they can truly have a chance to live the life that they need to live. Not that they're supposed to live according to anyone or everyone else's designs, but for them, their true life. And that, and you know, what's that expression? If you love someone, set them free. It's very, very liberating. It allows them to love you even more for respecting them, and it allows you to love them to the maximum by respecting them. So it's mutual respect here, mutual inspiration, mutual dignity here. Like two people who are very dignified in the way they conduct themselves with each other, understanding the true value and the love of themselves for each other and each other as individuals, and blessing each other in that way, so that they both parties get the chance to love and be loved, to heal and be healed. Let's have a look. Okay. But it has to be understood, okay, with the Devil card here, it has to be understood that it looks like like there is a binding that's going on here, in which that might come to the surface. Now, my feeling is that this will probably come to the surface later in the month, okay? Because for you, Libra, like I was trying to point out here, there's not a lot of direct hard hits on you directly. There's a lot of incidental energy out there. The squares, the grand trines, the T-squares, the grand square, the oppositions, and all of that. But the thing is, I think what may happen towards the end of the month, once you get into the Cancerian season of July, like with the July reports, I'm not going to predict. I don't predict the future here at Tarot Illumination. All I'm suggesting is when the sun gets into the Cancer season over here, it's going to really amplify the Cancer Capricorn polarity, which is very strong right now, and it's a long-term transit, especially, and Venus is still going to be there for a while. And so that might bring a lot more light onto what is happening in your relationship dynamic here with your significant other. You might discover between the both of you of what's actually going on here, because in early June, I feel it's very, very pure and very rich and very loving with you guys. And we do have to allow for their grieving here, their sense of loss, fear of loss, whatever it might be, fear of not ever having a chance to be themselves or who they are. And as the month progresses, it becomes the revelation, like if this is what's around you, this is the opportunity of realization, like what's actually going on here. What is it that really, really counts? What are the true values that we share in this love relationship? And this is from your perspective, Libra. And then coming to a realization that there is a very deep binding that is going on here. And the binding itself might be very crippling. That's one of the challenges with the Devil card, is that this is a binding by choice. These are decisions. These are bindings that have been made, that often can be made through like autopilot, or just through what I would call, reflex behavior. Like people just get into relationships, sometimes very deeply binding relationships, like marriage and kids, homes, mortgages, car payments, college, school, healthcare, deeply, deeply binding relationship commitments that start off as like, oh, we're going to get married and do this and that, but it ends up being almost suffocating, almost binding. And you realize, oh my gosh, we made all that happen by choice. And then everything has to be reviewed from a new perspective. So when this energy becomes more and more apparent, and what it actually means for you, Libra, in your life, in your world, in this particular relationship, what might come to revelation, especially later in the month, is that there is in some ways a very deep binding that's going on here, which is causing a lot of grief and anguish to the chance for a full life to be led with a significant other. That's also, despite all the best of intents. In other words, you know how some people are very deeply bound and they know the goodness that they have and they share with each other, but they also are aware of the deep limitations that come with certain type of relationship structures. And so it would be a very loud message here that, because these seem like very contradictory energies right now, that the binding is very, very unhealthy. And it needs to be addressed. It needs to be acknowledged, understood, and brought out into the opening. And then we figure out what to do from there. Okay, so this looks like prospects and momentum going forward, even though this is happening in the context of what looks to me like a very deeply loving relationship. The issues that are causing this and a significant other need to be addressed, and it looks like it's going to be coming out towards the end of the month. Okay. So I'm going to leave it at that. I don't want to press this any further. I don't want to paint a brighter and more cheery picture. I don't want to darken the picture anymore. I want to keep things very, very balanced in a deep sense of equilibrium. And remember that this is an opportunity for healing for both of you guys. You have to reveal it to heal it. If this is what has to be revealed in order for the healings to occur, then that's what has to happen. So we just deal with that and be honest about it, and then figure out what to do next. There's still a lot of love here, but realistically, you've got to be honest and true. If this is going on, it needs to be faced and addressed, okay? All right, thank you so much, Libra. Let's just leave it at that, and you can reinterpret however you want. Thank you so much for visiting. Bye-bye. All the best in June.